Okay, I think we are live now, and this is pretty exciting. I just wanted to take a moment today and say hello, everybody. My name is Joe Bladek, and I'm a mortgage broker, and I've been getting a lot of questions lately about mortgages and COVID-19, first-time home buyers, as well as these new qualifications that CMHC has just introduced. And I wanted to just come on live here today for some time and give all of you a chance to ask me those questions, whether it is friends or colleagues, or maybe you've attended one of my webinars. So feel free to submit your question either in the comments or go through the link that I've put on the page there. And then from that link, you can actually ask me an anonymous question. And I'm going to answer those questions live here on Facebook and YouTube as we go through this first time me going live answering questions. So I'm just going to load up the chat here so I can make sure that I'm on all the different streams. Okay, there we are. So I have the chat open. I have my portal open for questions. So please do go online. Hopefully this form is working and you can ask me your question online. Again, my name is Joe Bladek, and I'm just going to load it up here to make sure it's all working, just to make sure that I am live and this is all on here. Oh, there I am. Okay, so I am live. I'll just show you guys, show you all this anonymous question. So you just click on it and you'll see my face to make sure that it's the right person. And then it says, ask me an anonymous question. And then you just send in your question. Okay. So I'll type my question in. So I'll type in today, how does the new changes affect, say, first-time home buyers? Okay, it's pretty easy. So there you go. How do the changes affect first-time home buyers? We'll just send my question, and there it's done. So it's pretty easy. It's fully anonymous. So even if you're working with somebody else and you don't have any interest in working with me as your mortgage broker, feel free to ask me your question. I'll make sure that it is answered. So let's see here. Do we have any questions yet this morning? Let's look at it here. I'll just refresh my screen. Okay, we have our first questions. Where are interest rates headed? It's a great question. So whoever asked that, it's a great question. And at this moment, if you were to ask me on Friday where interest rates were headed, I think it would have said they're probably going up, especially fixed rates. And at this moment, I don't really know. It seems like the market's always changing. And right now, I think the rates are probably going to stay the same, at least for the week, for fixed rates, as well as variable rates. They've actually been headed lower these last few months due to COVID-19 and all the Bank of Canada rate changes. So for variable rates, I can see them also staying the same for the time being. We just had a Bank of Canada decision last week on Wednesday, where the Bank of Canada actually announced that they are not changing interest rates, that all interest rates are on pause for variable rates for the time being. So that's actually pretty good news if you're looking at getting a mortgage, because it seems like the sentiment right now is that the economy will probably pick up now that the businesses are reopening. So if you're looking to get a pre-approval, what you can do is get pre-approved at today's rates. And then as the rates change, if they go up, your mortgage rate will be protected and you will not get the higher rate. However, if the rates do go down, you will actually have a lower rate. So we can actually adjust your pre-approval lower so we can take advantage of that new interest rate. All right, we have our first comment from David. Hey, David, so far all working. That's good. Thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Thanks, David. Glad it's working. Please do send in your mortgage questions. I did want to take this time today to just be able to come on and answer any questions you may have anonymously. Okay. So let's look at here. We have any other questions right now? No other questions yet. Perhaps I need to sweeten the deal. Perhaps I need to, maybe I'll play a song if I get a certain amount of questions on my guitar or something like that live. Maybe we'll do something like that. Oh, we'll see how many questions come in. All right, so what I'll do is I'll answer my next question that I asked myself because there's no other questions coming in at the moment, and that is, how do these new changes from CMHC affect, how do they affect first-time home buyers? And these changes do affect first-time home buyers hugely. The changes that the government announced on just last week, they come into effect on July 1st. I'm just getting a message here. And they do come on July 1st. So if you decide to buy a home before July 1st, then you will actually get your mortgage underwritten at prior to the changes. So you will not be subject to the qualification changes that CMHC has introduced. And these qualification changes essentially apply to all mortgages that have less than 20% down. So for a first-time home buyer, that's typically 80 to 90% of first-time home buyers. They have 5% or just a little bit more of a down payment. And they are usually buying at the top end of their budget because house prices right now and the way they are, it seems to be that way. So if you're a first-time home buyer or someone that has, 5%, 10%, 15%, or even a 19.99% down payment, then I'm seeing a rough estimate of 11.7% decrease in affordability. I have on my Facebook page that if we were to convert that to a dollar amount, it works out to about $30,000. And that's the average price in the Bay Area Aurelia area and how it's affecting everybody. So if you get pre-approved beforehand, if you get a contract accepted beforehand for a house, say you buy a house July 15th, it's too late. But if you buy June 15th, you get it all signed, but it's closing, say July 15th or August 15th, or even in September, then you'll be underwritten at the prior rules, and then you'll be able to close after the changes take effect, even though the changes have taken effect because you've signed the contract for your home. All right, so let's see if there's any other questions coming in. I hope that answers that question. All right, no other questions here. Let's check the chat. We'll just check the chat here. Okay. Hey, Hallie, good to see you. Thanks for the kind comments. Great video. Thanks, Joe. That's awesome. Just want to come on here and be online, ready to go if anyone has any questions. So I got the comments open here on one side. And everything open on this other side. Okay, so let's see. Do we have any other questions coming in? Okay, I actually had a question texted into me. This is kind of neat. I'll make sure that we keep you anonymous. Okay, so the question here is if I'm laid off due to COVID-19 and I'm returning to work shortly, can I still get pre-approved? And that's a great question, because you have a job and your employer is saying, you're coming back to work, say June 12th, for example, or June 15th, whatever it may be. And even maybe your employer will put this in writing. Well, unfortunately, at this moment, the lenders require you to be actually back at work before we can approve anything. A lot of them are asking me for one pay stub, at least, to prove that you're back at work, and to also verify that you're receiving the same amount of hours that you were prior to being laid off. That's a really big concern for a lot of lenders, and rightfully so, because it's very uncertain times. And if you do have a mortgage that is, say, coming up for renewal, or if you are looking for planning on purchasing a home, or even if you are planning to refinance your home, this is going to have a dramatic impact on what you can afford on either the refinance or the purchase of the home, any one of those things. I've even tried to go as far as getting a letter from that person's employer saying, yes, we are returning to work on June 15th. It's for sure. However, if that date hasn't come, there's nothing we can do about it. So what we're doing in place of getting these folks a mortgage that are laid off due to COVID-19 is we're actually getting a co-signer to come on board that is working. So if you're looking to get into the market now and not wait until you are back from work, you can actually say, if your spouse is working but you're not for whatever reason, then you can add a co-signer, a third person, onto your home, and from there you can get into the market now and get your home now. And then as soon as you're back at work, we can look at removing your co-signer off the mortgage, providing that everything qualifies for the mortgage at that time. That way you can get in the market now and you don't have to wait until you're back at work. Okay, do we have any other comments here? All right, let's check my form, see if there's any questions. No other questions coming in through the form. Any other comments? No comments here so far. Do we have any other text messages coming in? Okay, what do we got here? All right. What I can do is actually give you some questions, some example questions that I've been asked on my webinars over the last few weeks, just to help inspire some other questions. I have my chat screen open on one end, and I have my question submission screen open on the other end. So another question is, if you have 20% down, will these changes affect me? And the answer right now is no. If you have 20% down, for the most part, these changes will not affect you. Most lenders are able to offer what's called uninsured mortgages. And an uninsured mortgage just means that your mortgage will not be subject to CMHC. And if your mortgage is not subject to CMHC insurance, then we don't have to go through those rules. And we're simply underwritten by the criteria the bank has in place. And all the lenders and banks that I'm using right now, they have not introduced any criteria to underwrite files at the same underwriting criteria that CMHC has introduced starting July 1st. So yeah, you will not be affected. All right. Any other questions here? All right. Nothing on my comments. Any submissions? All right, so if you are looking to submit your question, just once again, please do submit your question through the anonymous form online. It's really easy. I'll show you again here how easy it is. Let's load that up here. Okay. Let me bring that up. Okay. I don't know where that is right now. And doing this live is proving more difficult than I thought, but that's okay. All right. What do we have here? Okay. No other questions. How is COVID-19 affecting you guys? Is your mortgage being affected? I had a question the other day, if you defer your mortgage payments, will that show up on your credit bureau? Will other banks and lenders see if you've deferred your mortgage payment? And it's interesting because I originally thought that we would not see any impacts of deferring your mortgage payment on everyone's credit bureau. And I'm starting to see on certain credit bureaus, it's not, some people are showing that it's indicated as not as a missed payment, but I am seeing some reports of other people showing that it has been notified that there was some sort of situation that happened, even though there was not a missed payment. But there is a declaration of some sort on a credit bureau that there was a missed, like an arrangement made of some kind. So if you're interested to find out more about that, if you have had a mortgage before that has been deferred, please reach out to me and we can get that done. We can look into that further for you. I'm just gonna see if my kids can be quieter here. Okay, hopefully I'll quiet them down. Let's see if there's any other chat coming through here. No chat coming through there. Any other forms coming through here? All right, we do have a question coming in here. Thanks for the question. Any idea how the COVID crisis might affect housing prices? Asking someone who's hoping to buy my first home in about 2 years. It's a great question. As a mortgage broker, I've been in the industry now for about 10 years, and I've never seen anything like this before. It's been quite unprecedented, and we've seen we've seen home prices essentially be trending upwards for the last 10 years that I've been in the industry. There has been ups and downs, obviously, but it's trending upwards. And at the moment, I'm seeing that mortgage prices, home prices are still trending upwards. Right now, what has happened is in March, there was a drop in activity, huge drop in activity with regards to people looking at homes and people going out there and looking at homes. We saw a lot of real estate agents start doing virtual home tours. They've been actually really fantastic. You can see homes inside and out with these really cool personalized video tours. And then we saw a huge uptick in activity in the last few weeks. We did a seminar with a real estate agent down in Toronto just last week, and they indicated that activity is up 53% over the previous month, and that prices seem to be rebounding already from what happened in March. So that's the short term. Long term, if you're looking in 2 years, CMHC has gone out and put articles out there that home prices will actually be reduced by about, I think it was up to 18%. I've seen an article write that out. And I'm not sure how much substance that article has, because house prices dropping 18% is a very big number. And across the board, I don't think it's going to affect all markets that way. But they've also indicated that prices will take about a few years to recover to pre-COVID-19 levels. So it's hard to say where this will go. I think being part of a few different discussions now, I think what we'll see personally is more of a up and down wave. As we go through this unprecedented time, we'll probably see home prices peak when everyone is feeling like the economy is opening back up, everything is fine. We'll probably see them flatten out if things get closed back out again and people are forced to stay home again. And they're talking about a second wave, whether or not that is coming or not. I think there's going to be a good chance of ups and downs going forward. Just going to ask my kids to be quiet again here. Okay, hopefully that's going to keep them down. I can hear them in the background. Having kids home, even though I'm in a separate area of my home, it's really difficult because I do hear them and they're very demanding at times. That's what happens when you get 5 and 7-year-old at home. Okay. And then the second part to this question is, so yes, in 2 years. So I think if you're looking to purchase in 2 years, I think home prices may be in line with where they are at today. But again, it's unprecedented and we don't know for sure what is going to happen going forward. I don't have a crystal ball. My strategy right now is to buy and hold for the time being. Okay. Great question. So I thank you very much, everyone who is submitting questions. Okay, it is still pretty loud, so I do apologize about that. Give me one moment. Okay, great. So I have another question here. This is a question that was texted in. Thank you very much. If we are able, okay, so with the new rules coming into effect, can we purchase now and make an agreement and close in September? Yes, you can. So if you purchase now and make an agreement for purchase and sale and set a closing date for September, as long as the closing date is within 120 days from your purchase date, and as long as your purchase date is pre-July 1st, you'll be able to qualify before these changes take into effect and still have between now and September to save your down payment, whatever is remaining, and to get everything in order and to get everything done before your home closes in September. So I hope that makes sense. It's a great question. There's a lot of different scenarios we can put together here. All right, so let's check the chat here again. Okay, still no other questions on our chat. Let's check our link. Please do post. You can post an anonymous question through the link below on my chat screen there, or if you just want to post a question yourself, you can put it in the chat below the video there, however it's working. I've never done this before. Why am I doing this? It's because I'm getting a lot of questions, about the new qualifications coming out for CMHC July 1st. And a lot of my first-time home buyers, I want to get the word out there that there are changes coming into effect and that if you are looking at buying a home, it might be in your best interest to get pre-approved before July 1st so you can get that rate locked in and you can get also underwritten criteria before July 1st hits. And there's a lot of folks that are affected by COVID-19. I just want to make sure that we get back to everybody, including everyone who hasn't asked me a question yet, with regards to what's happening out there. So what am I seeing? And while I'm waiting for these questions to come in, I'll just try to give everyone an idea what I'm seeing in the market right now. Right now, fixed rates are hovering steady. Variable rates were not changed last week by the Bank of Canada, so they're hovering steady. I am seeing a lot more activity out there right now with people getting back to work and with people getting back out of their homes. I am seeing a lot more activity with people looking at homes, putting in offers, taking advantage of any market trends. I'm noticing a lot more homes being listed right now. People are more comfortable with homes being listed right now. So that's good to see as well. For a few weeks there, we were working with buyers that were just saying that there's not really much out there. It's the same houses that have been out there for a while, and there's nothing really new coming online. All right. So just a reminder, you can submit an anonymous question online through the form that I've put a link in there for, or you can submit a question through the comments that's non-anonymous. All right, see if there's any other questions coming in. Maybe what I'll do is we'll try this again next week, maybe on Monday. I'll come online again, and if we can get 20 questions, I'll break out my guitar and learn a song online with you all. How's that? Or play a song online. I'll take a request. And that way we can encourage some more questions happening. So I appreciate everyone who is watching this today live. It's my first time coming on live to do a question and answer period. Really didn't know how this would turn out here. Let's try again here and see if there's any new questions coming in. Okay, we have a new to Canada question. Great. So if I'm new to Canada, if I'm considered new to Canada, are there any benefits available for me? Sorry, it's really noisy here again. Let's see if I can get that. So with being new to Canada, there are benefits to being a new to Canada resident. To be considered new to Canada, you have to have come to Canada in the last 5 years. And I'm just going to wait here for a second here. I hear some noise back there. And okay, there we go. So to be considered new to Canada, you have to have come to Canada in the last 5 years. And if you've come to Canada in the last 5 years, you actually get a preferred underwriting from many lenders in Canada. There's less requirements on employment. There's also less requirements on credit. I've been able to see folks that are new to Canada without a credit score get approved. It's really advantageous to be able to buy a home within the first 5 years after coming to Canada, because you get preferential treatment, you get the best rates, even though if you're not showing a credit score. I've had, for example, someone that has come to Canada in the last 5 years have 0 credit score. And if you're a Canadian, a lot of the banks, well, all the banks look at no credit as being the same as bad credit. However, if you are new to Canada within the first 5 years, a 0 credit score or no credit score is no problem. And we can actually use other ways to substantiate your credit for your approval. And that would be things like cell phone bills would be one of them. Insurance payment would be another one, and things like that. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that answers your question. And if you're employed for at least 3 months, you'd be in Canada, then chances are you have also a good shot at your approval. Okay. Sorry about all those interruptions there. it gets loud sometimes with my kids being home, and apparently they did not see my text until just now. So it's all good. We'll just see if there's any other questions coming in. I'll check my anonymous form here first to see if there's any anonymous questions submitted. Okay, none yet. And any comments submitted online, and no comments submitted yet here. Okay, great. So I'll give maybe 2 more minutes for any other questions. Other than that, I need to get back to work, and we'll see how this turns out. We'll see if there's a good response, and maybe I'll do this next week, and I'll come on live and maybe play a song or something like that once we hit 20 questions. All right, let's see here. Any other questions right now before I end this meeting? So if any of you are wondering about my webinars, I tend to run first-time buyer webinars weekly. We run them weekly at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. This week, we are running webinars in London, Ontario for home buyers at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Please do reach out to me if you would like to sign up for those webinars. Essentially, at these webinars, we talk about ways to qualify and some rebates you can get back as a first-time home buyer, and we connect you with a real estate agent, which is fantastic. We also are running webinars for first-time investors. So if you are someone that already owns your home and are looking to invest in a investment property, whether it is a cottage rental property or a duplex rental property, something like that, then we run first-time investor webinars for those kind of situations. And we essentially are able to teach you how to use your equity in your home to purchase a second property. We also are running first-time seller webinars. We are running those approximately once per month, and love to get you to join in on those. And if anyone has any other suggestions as to what other webinars we could run, please do also leave me a comment through the anonymous link or on my comments below. I would love to be able to introduce any other different webinars so we can get those going for everybody. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have, and then we'll tie this up if we don't have any other questions. All right, so there's no other questions. I'd like to just thank everyone who's been watching this. I do see there's been a few people watching this all the way through, and a few people coming in and off, on and off this live stream. It's the first time me trying this out. We'll try it again next Monday. If you have any questions between now and then, save it for our live stream on Monday. We'll be able to answer anonymously. I'll make sure I'll bring a guitar to that meeting. And if we hit 20 questions, I will take a request for a song, and I'll play on the acoustic, whether I know it or not. If I don't know it, I'll learn it on live, or if I do know it, I'll play it for you guys on the acoustic guitar, and we'll try that out once we hit 20 questions. All right, one last chance to submit a question. Okay, well, thanks very much, everybody. If you're looking to connect with me, you can call me at 705-238-3479. You can call me or you can text me at that number. You can also email me at joe@joebladek.com. Visit my website, my Facebook page at facebook.com/bmortgagefree, Twitter, twitter.com/bmortgagefree, and look forward to chatting with you all next time. Hope you have a great day, everybody, and bye for now.